There are good chiropractors and there are poor chiropractors. One of the unfortunate things about the practice is you run into patients that have had a bad chiropractic experience, and oftentimes it's up to you to either change their mind and you have one opportunity, or be their first experience with chiropractic. Being an entrepreneurial chiropractor is a beautiful thing, because everybody's practice is an extension of who they are as a person. I have a competitive nature. I've always tried to do the best that I can, and I think part of my competitive nature has led to me to develop a supplemental line that improves your health. A lot of what I'm trying to do is work on athleticism levels, work on oxygen levels, work on recovery, and so people can feel better and go back to work out more often. All of my private labeled nutrition comes from a laboratory that I work specifically with, geared towards fixing people's individual problems. I believe that everybody's nutritional protocol should be customized, and that you can't give people cookie cutter programs. So I have supplements that work for the lymphatic system or the liver. I have supplements that are probiotics that contain specific strains to work with your gut. I have enzymes that break down carbohydrates and proteins. We have fish oil or krill oil that is an omega fatty acid that's good for your cholesterol and your blood pressure in your brain. I have a completely vegan protein with 0 grams of sugar and over 20 grams of protein. So all of these things kind of combine to be high energy, nutritionally absorbable, anti-inflammatory, no fillers supplements that are what they say they are and have everything in them that you thought they did. So, my clean vegan protein, something I'm very proud of. The first thing I wanted to avoid was sugar. There's over 156 things that sugar can do to you that is not a benefit to your body, your immune system, or your mind. So the first thing you want to do is remove sugar, but keep the sweetness so that people like it. Second of all, you need to get over 20 grams of protein, because that is what will spike protein synthesis. You can start to build muscles after 20 grams of protein. Mixing highly absorbable forms of plant protein, such as pea protein, flaxseed powder, and quinoa, allows you to get your amino acids, your fats, and your fiber. Using a BCAA is an amazing thing for people on a weight loss program, because it increases your energy, it lets you burn fat without burning muscle, and it increases your ability to recover from exercise and come back for more. This is an awesome supplement, and I use it every day. Deer antler promotes alkalinity and is a huge benefit for your joints, and also functions as an aphrodisiac, a hormonal replacement for males and females. This is something I've used for multiple years now, and is a staple in my protocol for anyone that deals with joint pain or hormonal problems. This supplement allows your body to take what makes testosterone and turn it into testosterone, instead of giving you testosterone and lowering your own production. There are a couple things that I look at when I determine what kind of supplements I'm going to put an individual on. One of the main things I look at is inflammation. And when you're dealing with people's joints, you're dealing with inflammation. And when you're dealing with dis-ease or disease, you're dealing with inflammation. If you can reduce inflammation, then you can improve health. One of the main things that I always carry for people is something called turmeric. Turmeric is great by itself as a root and a spice, but the extract of curcumin, called the curcuminoids, is an amazing, amazing supplement that really works to be an anti-inflammatory on the body. It's non-steroidal, it's not a pharmaceutical, you can't overdose on it. I've never met anyone that's allergic to it, and if you look at the studies, this goes right into phase 1, 2, 3 of clinical studies of fighting diseases. When you're taking something like hemp or hemp oil or CBD isolate in a tincture, like something like this, then what's happening is that you're actually ingesting an active chemical that can work in your body, and it can bind to receptors, reducing things like pain, muscle spasticity, degeneration of the spinal cord. And ultimately, if you think of your spinal cord like one of those orange extension cords, and you think of what happens when a rabbit or a squirrel chews on the cord, it gets torn up and the electrical signals start basically ruining the cord's ability to transmit electricity. The same exact thing happens in the human body when your spinal cord starts to succumb to inflammation. The myelin sheath, or the insulation around your spinal cord, breaks down, and then you succumb to neurological degeneration. CBD can rebuild your nervous system's sheath around your cord, the Schwann cells if you look it up, and it works in a number of other ways as well. If you have headache, low energy, fatigue, upset stomach, constipation, diarrhea, or even heartburn, or any digestive problems, the odds that you have a candida overgrowth are very, very common. It's very likely. So what I've come up with is something called Candida Cleanse. Basically is a mixture of enzymes that break down the cell wall of candida. It's a mixture of highly absorbable calcium and magnesium, contains actual stomach acid, and olive leaf extract, which is a very oxygenated substance. And since candida does not like oxygen and it loves sugar, the olive leaf is really able to dry out the candida bacteria and kill it. So I find this to be a very effective supplement for people with yeast and candida overgrowth problems. And much of the time, in many of my patients' conditions, this is actually what's holding up their weight loss. And this is one of the things that's mainly contributing to their poor attitude, poor mood, and even poor memory. When I use Candida Cleanse, I have found an extremely effective benefit to pairing it with something called Direct Detox. It's a lymphatic support to take care of your liver and your gallbladder. When you kill millions of microorganisms, they wash themselves through your body, and you end up with something called Herxheimer's die-off reaction. It's basically low-grade fever, nausea, and upset stomach from your lymphatic system dealing with the billions of microorganisms that you're killing. This is a great pair to get rid of candida and rebuild your liver. If your liver is what processes fats and toxins and it doesn't work well, guess what? You're not going to break down fats and toxins. If you can get rid of what's eating your nutrients and clear the pathway for health, then it's going to be a really good route for you. And these are probably my two most effective products that I use in conjunction with one another. And finally, probiotics. And the ultimate probiotics. What you want is something with at least 9 strains, and you want something that has at least 50 billion colony-forming units. Most of the time, your probiotics are in a pill, and a lot of it gets broken down in the stomach, and most of it doesn't make it to your gut. So there are 2 things that you need to remember when you're taking probiotics. You don't take probiotics if you have candida overgrowth. So first, kill candida. Second, make sure you have a multi-strain probiotic and that there's some form of prebiotic. A prebiotic is basically the bridge that allows your probiotics to walk across and fight your battle for you. If you have no probiotics, you have no framework if you have no prebiotics, you have no framework for your probiotics to work, and thus your effectiveness will be very reduced. So probiotics are a great product, but they should be reserved until after you're done fighting a candida infection.